All right, we are recording. So now it's time to discuss these buttons down here. Export globals, import globals, and copy assets. Exporting globals allows you to decide different things that you're going to export. And you can check this box, say that you're going to export different items that are on the list here. I've got a bunch of different items here that I have recolored or created from scratch. Pretty much all of it is rain gear. Rain gear is the clothing theme for the first chapter of this fan game. I'm planning on making it a serial um, where Manhattan is the second level and there's a party going on, so party outfits are that one. There's an original land that I'd like to call Freeze Land, which will be level 3, and obviously cold weather gear will be the clothing theme for that, and the themes go on. There's other things that you can export as well, such as item properties, playable character buffs you can export. You have the ability to export event flags and emotions as well. These are all things that you'd see on the Globals tab. When you click export, then you can put them into a file, and obviously when you click import, you can drive them up from a file. But I think one of the more exciting ones is copy assets. This will take all of the image files that you have. This will take every image file that exists in the Weather Factory Meltdown game, and it will copy all of them to whatever folder you select. I've got one selected on my F drive here, and it will show you the progress as it goes. Unfortunately, it's not a bar, it just shows a percentage there. But if I bring up the folder where this is happening, you go into images, and as you can see, it is continuously adding more images to this folder. It's exporting the, let's see, that's actually the Steam engine. And it's just going to keep going until it's got everything exported. This includes exporting things like clothing graphics. It includes background elements, like here are some of the unicorn busts from the background of the Weather Factory. It's even got cursors, NPCs, and it's going more or less in alphabetical order. So I think I'm going to pause my recording until this is complete. As you can see, it is also pumping out directories. I mean, it says it's only at 48% or 49%. It's probably printing out a lot of effect icons. In any case, it is mimicking the directory structure that exists within the game itself, and it's got plenty of other things, plenty of UI elements, such as, let's see, this is one of the multi-layer icons. It's got planes on it. There's other ones like this pillar one, but they keep adding directories up top here, so man, it is blazing through those percentage points. Once you dump all of the assets, then absolutely everything that is in the game will appear in here. Like all the equipment is here, the hood recolorings, the umbrellas, the hats, everything. Actually, we're already up to 90%, so all assets have been copied. So this is something which will allow you to create your own stuff much more easily. Another finishing touch that I should show you guys is something that I've added to the receiving bay. This is on the front widget's start and goal layer. At least I thought it was. Maybe it's on the widgets and doors layer. Ah, yes, here we go. Huh. Okay, here we are. Each one of these boxes that contains purple and red gridding here, this is a parody polite switch zone. If the player character touches one of these boxes, then they will automatically be switched to parody mode. There's ways you can override this. If the player has beaten the game and is in pure polite or pure parody mode, then the pure mode means that the player won't switch when the player touches these. The idea is that if the player gets close enough to these trash barrels, then the trash barrels will transform into cages with fillies in them as a shout out to Rainbow Factory. And then these down here that are yellow with black, those switch from polite mode back to parody. And the way it works, the way you can change what they do is this. The parody polite switcher is its own palette object. You paint them onto the screen, or onto the canvas, and then you can right-click them and change whether they switch from polite to parody or from parody to polite. The yellow and black ones are parody to polite. The red and purple ones are polite to parody. So that's the parody polite switching. Another one that's got me excited is something that's way down here at the bottom of the playable characters panels. I have not created backgrounds for any of the equipment panels for any of the characters except for a throwaway one that I plan to create for my third video. This is actually the fourth video I'm recording, but the fifth video in the series. Auto-generating equipment for characters is something that you can do with just a few clicks. The game will blow up, or I should say expand, images of each of the playable characters and every piece of equipment that they are capable of carrying, and the game will just automatically generate equipment panels for you. But here's the thing. You want to do this step last, because this is going to create new images for every single playable character, every single equipable item. And the way the auto-generation system works is it'll grab the buff that is attached to each item, the one that is closest to the camera in terms of draw depth, and it'll use that. So I'm going to select an animation for using equipment panel, standing facing left, select a horizontal alignment. I'll want it to be center aligned. It'll put the graphics of the playable character way on the left if you choose left aligned, way on the right if you choose right aligned, and in the middle if you choose center aligned. And if you have some playable characters that have vertical equipment panels instead of horizontal, then you'll have the opportunity to choose top aligned, middle aligned, or bottom aligned. And I'm running out of time for this video, so I think I better cut this off here. Okay, picking up exactly where I left off. The after you select what alignment you want, then it will very quickly, apparently, generate equipment graphics for you. And in retrospect, I'm going to need to add the generated equipment graphics to the list of assets that get written out to the folder when you click on this. But let's open up Fluttershy's equipment panel. There she is. Because we're in edit mode here, you don't really see these items on her. If you want to see the items on her, hit preview. Oops. I just moved the wrong window there. Oh well. Let's try that. Come on. There we are. So here you see the rain slicker on her. It's almost perfect. You see the boots, and if you want to add items, let's see. Let's add all of them. Now you can see what she looks like in different colored clothes. And as you can see, when you add this, when you add the long coat, then it blocks out her overskirt. Let's see here. Yeah, it's a little bit annoying that the scroll bar is over here, but oh well. You know, in retrospect, I probably should have had her facing right, since... Yep, I made an oopsie. Oh well. Okay, they're going to be facing right in the real equipment slots that you're going to see, in the real equipment panels that you're going to see in the game, but at least you understand how to auto-generate equipment panels. There is one other thing that I'd wanted to add to this. It's called required item properties. I want to set this up so that the player is required to keep the ponies dressed up so that they stay dry. So I'm going to add down here required item properties. If you don't have any of the equipment slots selected, then this control down here basically means make sure that at least one item that the playable character has equipped provides this item property. So they're required to keep the playable character's manes dry. They're required to keep their hooves dry. They're required to keep their tails dry. They're required to keep their bodies dry. They're required to keep their flanks dry. Now, this one keeps the body and the flank dry. This one keeps the tail dry. This one keeps the hooves dry. This one keeps the mane dry. So Fluttershy will be fine if she keeps on her standard equipment. Same thing with Pinkie Pie here. She's got rain slicker, she's got rain pants, boots, tail cover, umbrella hat. She'll be fine if she sticks with her items. And I'm going to add these requirements to all of the characters and then show you what it's like in the actual game. And before I forget, the ordering down here doesn't really matter. I can start with the tail and end with the hooves. I can start with the hooves, end with the tail. It doesn't really matter. Anyhow, I'll skip ahead so that you guys can see what this looks like in the game. Alright, we are recording. What happens when I try removing some of these items? Close. The characters don't have all the necessary equipment. The following equipment is needed. Fluttershy needs an item with property keeps flank dry. Fluttershy needs an item with property keeps body dry. Fluttershy needs an item with property keeps mane dry. So let's see if we can fix that. It's kind of a hodgepodge there. Close this. Characters don't have all the necessary equipment. The following equipment is needed. Fluttershy needs an item with property keeps mane dry. So apparently this one I forgot to. I'm going to make a note of that. Right facing rain hat doesn't keep mane dry. Remove it. So let's replace it with another one. The left facing one. And it works just fine. She's got the Maximilian Alpine rain hat. He's a guy who disappeared from DeviantArt shortly after creating a very popular rain outfit. And let's switch to Pinkie here. She's got the umbrella hat, slicker, pants, Let's see what happens. Characters don't have all the necessary equipment. Following equipment is needed. Pinkie Pie needs an item with property keeps tail dry. Let's see if I can do that with an overskirt. The overskirt blanked out the, actually this one might not be large enough. Let's see. But let's see how it looks animated. Characters don't have all the necessary equipment. This one doesn't keep the tail dry. Okay. Let's see what we've got here. Oh. Got a bunch of overskirts here. Well, maybe this pink overskirt will do the trick. Yep. That keeps her tail dry. So that's how the required item properties work. So that's about it for wrapping up the items, buffs, and equipment systems that I have added to this game. Originally, I had wanted to continue on with items and keep making systems that make use of items, like an item synthesis system where if you get a bar of gold and a ruby or something like that, you can make them into a bracelet. Things like that. I'd wanted to do an item synthesis system. I'd also wanted to add a shopping system and currency systems. Something that I hope to sneak in over the next few months is a set of dialogue scripts that can check to see whether you have a given inventory item or whether you have a given item equipped. That kind of thing. That I do plan to add, but what I want to focus on is custom abilities for player characters and custom attacks for NPCs. I figure I need to focus on things that'll make other players excited about the game engine. Being able to design your own boss from scratch however you like it, that would be absolutely huge. But we'll see how much I can get done before the Winnie Cine PodyCon in March. Hopefully I can get a foundation laid for custom playable character abilities, even if it's only one type of custom playable character ability, and custom NPC attacks, even if it's just one attack, because once I lay that foundation, it'll get easier and easier to build on it. I can add more and more types of abilities for playable characters and attacks for NPCs. We shall see how that goes. Thanks for watching.